Hey guys, so this is Hex. This is not my cosplay channel. It's linked to my cosplay channel though. Um, I'm gonna do a cosplay, and then like if I'm going to a park, I may like talk about the park first, and then do a cosplay for it, or anywhere that you can really do a cosplay. So today I'm gonna be talking about Universal. Doesn't matter where you live, where they have one. I think they have one in Japan, Los Angeles, and of course they have one in Orlando, but so my thing is, I'm going to be talking about Universal right now, and for my Harry Potter nerds, what you need to expect and how, like, to actually go over there and do everything you want to do. So the first time I went, I didn't really know what to expect because I'd never been to Universal. So if that's your first time going and you've seen the movies, you've read the books, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting psyched out, and except there's that little thing in you that's like, but is this really going to be accurate? It is. I actually walked in with my youth group and I just stopped and started crying. Like, it was so beautiful. The smells, it smelled the exact same way that I thought it was going to smell because you walk into Digon Alley, Leaky Cauldron is like to your left, and it smells exactly like you're going to think it smells. And which is, you can smell the fish and chips. Um, but it smells really nice, and you can smell the butterbeer place over, like, that's to your left towards, like, towards the exit of Nocturne Alley or entrance, either one. And they have butterbeer ice cream. I have not personally tried it yet. I forgot to while I was there for my birthday. Um, every 15 minutes, if you're going to be at Diagon Alley, you're going to want to go to Diagon Alley first. But before you do, there's this little strip part, and there's the night bus, King's Cross, a phone booth, and then there's like a strip of apartment buildings. You're gonna want to go check out the apartment buildings because like Creature, the house elf, is supposed to like peek out a window every so often. I didn't get to do that because the day I was there, well, the day I first went, I didn't know about it. The second time it was like the second and third time it was so crowded that I was gonna have an anxiety attack, so I didn't even risk it. But it is pretty cool, I've heard, and I watched a video about it, and it's really awesome. And then you're gonna want to go into Diagon Alley. Anyway, like I said, it was really cool. My personal starter shop is probably gonna be the Weasley's Joke Shop. You're gonna want to go there first because it's like that one kind of just ties it in together because like by the sixth movie, all practically half the alley except for that building, which is like the center of all hope in that area, is closed. So you're gonna want to go into that shop first, and then you're gonna want to walk around because they link into other shops like Quality Quidditch, Candy Shop, other shops and stuff like that. Now, next to the Weasley's Wizards shop, joke shop, if you go down a little bit, you'll find, ooh, jeez, you'll find Ollivander's wand shop. Now, there are two types of wands you can get, and two different ways you can get a wand. But the two different wands you can get is the non-responsive and the responsive. I have both times I've gotten a wand, I have gotten the non-responsive because it was out of my budget. Technically, the time I got a Draco Malfoy's wand, I could have got the responsive, but I didn't want to risk it because I also knew I was gonna like be spending other money on other gifts for other people, and souvenirs and stuff like that. But that was my main souvenir. So you can get the responsive or you can get the non-responsive. The responsive one is pretty cool. I've seen what it does. A friend of mine told me about it. Random stranger in the street let me try theirs out because they were also Slytherin and I was like decked out in Slytherin stuff. So, they were like letting me try it out, and they were like, oh well, I suggest next time you get this. You know, um, the ride there, the ride in the Diagon Alley part is pretty cool. If you do get motion sick, I do like, because you can't deal with like, it's kind of like those movies that you go, like the documentaries you go and see in a dome. You're like sitting there and it feels like you're there. So pretty much like if you get motion sick during those, I don't really suggest you go and do that because it could make you feel motion sick. I don't really get motion sick that much, but I did have a concussion at the time, because I hit my head on my shelf when, like, getting changed that morning, and it was hard enough that my dad, and I called my dad, who was in Minnesota at the time, and I told him everything. He's like, did you see stars? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you got a concussion. Don't sleep for 24 hours. Yeah, it was a minor one though. Anyway, but I got a little bit motion sick and I was a little bit sick, so I did get a little bit motion sick. But if you get motion sick on a normal day basis, like looking up at the sky for too long, if that makes you sick, don't ride it. If you have a problem with staying tilted for too long, also don't ride it, because there's a point there at the beginning that it actually does tilt you, and you stay there for like a good 5 seconds. So if you can't deal with that, then I suggest you don't ride it. But if you don't care and you want to know the experience of Green Gods, then do it. Just do it. Speaking of Green Gods, the dragon, every 15 minutes, it will breathe fire. It didn't do it the last 2 times I was there. Wait, no, it didn't do it the one time I went with my youth group. The other 2 times I went, it did do it. I don't care how far you stand back, you will feel it. I was in, the first time it went off, I was in Ollivanders, which I will go back to how you can get the wands. And you could feel it from in there, the heat from in there. Now, back to Ollivanders, because I forgot to tell you guys. There are 2 ways you can get the wands. You can, one, go into the shop and buy them directly by yourself, or you can risk trying to get the picked for the choosing ceremony, because they do have a line where you go in, and it's like you walk into Ollivanders from the first movie that you see it, and you're like standing there, and then you get in. If it's not a large group, you get chosen on. If it's just you and your family, then you can, like, me and a friend, like, not me and my friend, a friend of mine and another friend of mine, they were siblings, so they went in and they were like, well, we're gonna get our wands at the same time, we don't want to do it without each other, so they got chosen at the same time. That would be the case for me and my brother, who we don't really do much without each other. So, you can either do that one or just buy it directly. I don't know if you have to pay for the wand after you do the choosing ceremony. I've never really actually done that, so I would have to find out before I actually said, hey, go do this. Anyway, Nocturne Alley. I love Nocturne Alley. Like, my mom was too, like, a little iffy about it at first, because, like, she's like, is it Nocturne Alley where all the bad kids go? But when you get there, the temperature immediately drops. It's a little more, it is outdoors, yes, but it's insulated. It's like you're inside and it's insulated. It's like dark, cold. It feels like it's gonna rain. I can't stay there too long because I have depression and it can just drop on a dime. So I didn't get to stay there too long because the gloominess was like starting to wear on me. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but if you do, go into Borgin and Burt's and then, like, for a few minutes and then go back out. Speaking of Borgin and Burt's, you can find the Hand of Glory, you can find Death Eater masks, and the Vanishing Cabinet, which they're both cool. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear the bird in the Vanishing Cabinet. But I got a picture in front of the Vanishing Cabinet. I didn't get a picture with the Hand of Glory because it was behind a case. But yeah, they also have pictures that move. They have pictures that move in the newspaper, in the pictures, like for the Wizard Wanted. Everything, really. It's really cool, and I suggest you go there. And then, like, if you have the responsive wand, there are a few areas there that you can actually, like, use it for a responsive wand. I suggest you wear something with white on it. Like, it doesn't have to be all white, but just, like, white words, anything, white stripes, it doesn't matter. It will glow in Nocturne Alley. I mean, it's like black light heaven, honestly. Okay, after you walk out of Nocturne Alley, the exit part, there's another responsive part on the top of it, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, but I suggest you walk down a little bit, and to your right, there should be the butterbeer shop, and to your left, there should be the animal shop, so you have to choose. If you're going to do butterbeer first, you have to drink it before you go into the animal shop, because I did get in trouble because I didn't know, and they're like, well, you have to, like, drink that before you come in, because there's stuffed animals and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Anyway, and then, like, the lady was, like, not as understanding as she was as this other person was the second time around, because my sister walked in with it. Anyway, so pretty much If I suggest you do the animal one for like the animal shop first, and then get butterbeer. Now, if you live in Florida, you know how hot it gets, so you can get a cold butterbeer and butterbeer ice cream at the ice cream shop there. There is another part to Digon Ally, but I don't really go down there because there's not like as many things down there. I did go there once, and it was like kinda, boring. And then you're gonna want to walk back out of Digon Alley, and you're gonna cry, because I know I did. I cried when I walked out of Digon Alley. I was like, this is my home. I don't want to leave. And the phone booth. If you dial a certain number, I would have to get that number again. But if you dial that number, you can actually call the Ministry of Magic. Now, there supposedly is supposed to be a way that you can go to the Ministry of Magic, but I never really tried. Excuse me, sorry. I have had the hiccups really bad today. I've never really personally tried it because I don't really know. So I will have to see if that's actually true or not. So then, after you do that, if you're gonna want to get a ticket you're gonna want to re-exchange your ticket for if you don't already have it, to go to different parks. If you already have the ticket to go to different parks, great. Go to Hogwarts. If you don't, I suggest you stop at the local booth, and like the booth they have like right there, get a ticket, and then go get in line. It is so freaking awesome. The walk there is the same route they take to get to the 9 3/4 platform. It's not outside, thankfully, because I would die if it was. I don't think King's Cross had indoors in the movie. I don't think. Well, I've never personally been to London where they actually do have King's Cross, but anyway, when you get there, I suggest, like, when you get up to 9 3/4 part, I suggest you have someone stand behind you at a certain point, like where you can see the wall, because like they have a holographic brick wall. So I suggest you get someone with a camera and let them run through it. It's fun. I ran all the way through it. I almost ran into the person in front of me. They were not understanding because like they were like, I don't understand you Hogwarts nerds and blah blah blah, and I'm like, Muggle, zip it. Okay, anyway, but I suggest you do that. It's really cool, and yeah, the train ride. There are two sides in your cart. There are two sides you want to pay attention to. Your right side, your left side. Left side, there's a window. Right side, there's the exit, like where you came in through the door to the trolley, or the cab. Like, no. What is it? The compartment. So while you're sitting there, you'll want to look to your left first, and then after that, you're gonna want to look to the right, and you want to switch back and forth all the time because it tells a little story, and it takes the same route you do to get to Hogwarts. And then finally, the train stops. You were in Hogsmeade. When I got off the first time I ever went, I heard the music from Hogsmeade, and I just started smiling and squealing, and then we got into Hogsmeade, and I started crying. I'm not a big crier unless I'm very pleased, or if I'm angry. I don't even cry when I'm sad, really, unless I'm feeling depressed, then I'll cry. But, like, when I'm very pleased with something, I will cry. I mean, I had been there already when I went for my birthday, I'd already been there by that point. I got off that train, and I just stood there and cried, and my mom's like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I'm home. That's what's the matter. Roller coasters there, I have not ridden all of them because, again, I have anxiety and I have anxiety. Sometimes it's not as bad as some days, but like if I feel like I'm being pressured into something, then it's bad. By this time of the day, I had already drank 3 butterbeers because they were already cold. I mean, it was extremely hot that day I went for my birthday. I was in cosplay. I mean, white button-up shirt, tie, Slytherin jacket, like this with Slytherin sweater over it, jeans because I couldn't find my skirt. The day I got up, I could not find it. Turns out it was there. It just was piled under something. tennis shoes. But I suggest if you're gonna do that, you may want to get a white polo shirt that has a collar. So when you take your sweater off, you don't have to roll up your sleeves constantly. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. There's the Dragon Racer one, which I could not bring myself to get on because this is why. My sister was trying to pressure me into it. I could not, like, they were doing tests because they had to repair it. I didn't want to, like, risk falling out or dying. So I didn't want to go on it. They didn't make me, but they said next time I have to at least try. So pretty much after that, you're like, while I was sitting there, I was sitting between Hufflepuff and Bulgarian flags. So I was like sitting there with my butterbeer and just waiting. And while I was looking around, I saw a lot of active, like the responsive wand stuff. And after that, you definitely gotta go to Hogwarts. Like, ignore the Hippogriff ride, ignore the way that leads to Jurassic World and other parts of the park. Go straight to Hogwarts. Just make a beeline for it. The ride there is amazing. It's a simulator roller coaster. If you don't do roller coasters or simulator, like if you don't do roller coasters, you really can't tell it's a roller coaster until it starts. I'm gonna keep that a secret, but you really can't tell it's a roller coaster. It's mainly like, again, if you get motion sick, don't do it because the simulator is really, pretty bad. It makes you feel like you're on a broom. I got that feeling because I can put my mind into places that like aren't even real, really. So, and maybe one day you'll run into me there because like if a girl starts screaming, "Oh my God, it's Draco Malfoy!" at a high pitched frequency, then yeah, you've probably ran into me. I always get put on like the second seat towards the outside, so always, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Heads up on that ride, they do have spiders, dragons, and dementors. Yeah, that was a mouthful. So the spiders, okay, so first it's the dragon, because Hagrid loses his dragon. It does breathe, like, if you have asthma like me, because I have seasonal asthma, but pretty much what happens is it breathes steam on you. Right then I was like having trouble breathing because like it made me feel like I couldn't breathe. So if you have that issue a lot, just like look down. I suggest you look down or turn your head inside your little compartment because it's like a little box. You're sitting in a little box. You can't see the person next to you, and all you can see is directly ahead. And if you look down, you can see their legs, but you can never see their faces. So you just like either turn your head into your box or look down. The spiders shoot water at you. Oh, they also have the Whomping Willow, so watch out for that guy. But pretty much the spiders shoot their venom. It's water. Careful, you can get it in your eye. I had to take my glasses off because they're like, well, your glasses could fall off. So I had to take my glasses off and leave them in the locker there that they have that's like free for a whole entire hour, like hour or two, because like that's as long as it takes. If you don't have the fast pass, that's as long as it takes to get over there and get on the ride and ride it. It's like about, yeah. But if you don't have the fast pass, it's worth it. You get to see things, like you get to go through the greenhouse and stuff like that. But if you do, you get to just like go straight to Dumbledore's office and also go see paintings, which the paintings move. They have a Salazar Slytherin, Rowena Ravenclaw, Helga Hufflepuff, and Godric Gryffindor paintings. They have the Fat Lady painting as well, but I was like freaking out because of Slytherin, and someone said Slytherin's a jerk, and I'm just like, Muggle? Muggle. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so when you're on the ride, after the spiders, that's when the Dementors or Whomping Willow, I forgot which comes first, but pretty much you will get a face of Whomping Willow and you will get a face of Dementor. I did, like, because this last time around, I did not get put on the second seat to the end. I actually switched places with a girl because she didn't want to be on the outside. So I switched places with her before anything. I didn't know her, but before I got on, she was like, hey, can I switch sides with you? I don't want to be on the outside. So I was like, okay, whatever. If you sit on the outside, be prepared for a face full of Dementor. I did not scream. I was too scared to scream. And when I did scream, all I screamed was Expecto Patronum. But it's fine. You hardly even realize it's there till like it gets up in your face and you're just like, oh crap. The Whomping Willow, if you have a fear of falling out of roller coasters, it's not bad. You really don't realize you're flipping upside down unless you're me, because then I realize everything, but you can feel like yourself moving. So you do go upside down a little bit, but it's not much, and you're back down before you even notice. It flips upside down a few times, but you really don't notice it. But yeah, it takes place before a Quidditch game and during a Quidditch game and after. So it's really cool. I suggest you ride it. And then the Flight of the Hippogriff, you go straight there. Because, like, Flight of the Hippogriff, it's a kiddies ride. I was scared to get on it the first time because, let's just say, someone said they almost fell out. That was a lie. I got freaking scared, and I just couldn't ride it. But, so pretty much, you ride it, it's fun, it doesn't go that long. It's like, it's a wooden roller coaster, you're on a hippogriff. Before you go, while you're going up, you can see Buckbeak, and you like, bow. You just like nod, I just like nodded my head and stuff like that, that was about it. But it's really cool, I suggest you do that, because it goes like, it kind of goes the route that it did in, Prisoner of Azkaban. But it's like a small kiddie ride that, you know, because they don't want to scare kids. You can pass Hagrid's hut. It's really awesome. Yeah, I suggest you ride that too. After that, after I went to Hogwarts and stuff like that, I really wasn't interested in the rest of the Universal Park, which, I mean, I've been there 3 different times. It's really awesome and interesting. But I'm mainly oh my gosh, I have to go to Hogwarts. I have to go to Digon Ally, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Now, for other souvenirs, like, stuff there is expensive. I could have probably gotten Draco's wand for like $10 on Amazon, but it was worth the while, you know. If you're planning on getting lunch at the Leaky Cauldron, you're gonna want extra pocket cash. Did I say that right? Yeah, because this is why. For kids' fish and chips, it was $15, and I really wanted to get lunch at the Leaky Cauldron, but we ended up running down to this Italian shop. I suggest you if you're going to do that, I suggest you bring extra cash. If you're going to be using your card, that's fine. Make sure you've got enough on there. I mean, really, it's probably worth it after you've done it, but you know. Okay, I think I've mentioned a lot and almost everything. So, but if you're just going for mainly Hogwarts and stuff like that, you can get the robes. You can. They're expensive. My mom checked into that because she was like, you know, you had the look, you just needed a robe. But the robes were like $150. Which I have my own Hogwarts robe. It's a graduation gown. You do what you gotta do in times of cosplay, dude. Like, that's all I know. So pretty much, that's all I know about Hogwarts and the Universal Hogwarts here and Digon Ally here. I don't know about, because I did look, there is one in Japan, and there is one in LA. Las Vegas, sorry, I think. It's either LA or Las Vegas. Anyway, but it's one of those two. Anyway, like, I don't know about the ones there because, like, I don't live there, so I was born in Florida, raised, sadly. But yeah. That's all I got, so Hex out.